Hey everyone, so we got the call from the embryologist and I am super excited to update you because we actually got really good news. I was hoping for at least 8 of our embryos to make it to the blastocyst stage to be biopsied, but he called today and said that we actually have 13. So 13 out of our 20 embryos made it to the blastocyst stage, which means that they've biopsied all 13 and they froze them, and the samples are ready to send away to our lab in New Jersey on Monday. They're going to send them because they don't want to risk sending them over the weekend. So he said they biopsied 7 of them yesterday and 6 more today, and he said that they were all a grade A or B, which are both really good grades. So he said they're all really good quality blastocysts. So that's really, really good news, because obviously that doesn't mean we're going to end up with 13 kids. It means that, we have a better chance of getting 1 or 2 or hopefully more. I'm still keeping my expectations low because I feel like a high number are going to be affected with short rib, but we don't know. It could be most of them, it could be none of them, right? Technically it should be 25%, but it doesn't always work that way. But I feel like we have a lot better chance of getting a few healthy embryos, seeing that now we're testing 13. So the first whole part of the journey is done. We had a good number retrieved, a good number of mature, a good number fertilized, and then we had a really awesome number survive to blastocyst stage, which usually you lose 50%, but we obviously have good quality eggs and sperm. So honestly, I think that our lifestyle and diet, even possibly drinking Shakeology, I think that us getting really good nutrients for the past 2 years has probably also, in my mind, affected the quality of my eggs and hopefully his sperm. So that could just be in my head, but it makes me feel better knowing that I've been healthy for a few years. So hopefully that has a little bit to do with why our numbers were a lot higher than we were expecting, or like what they were telling us they were going to be. So all we can do now is wait. It'll be about 2 to 2.5 weeks for results of the testing. So not only do they have to pass the PGD testing for short rib, but they also have to pass the chromosome testing. So they have double testing to pass. But the second part of my update is that last night I was having a lot more pain in my stomach, so I called the clinic and they had me come in this morning for an ultrasound before we left Calgary. As you can see, we are in the mountains. We are at Radium Hot Spring. So I'm just out on the balcony. There we go. It's gorgeous here. It's a little cold, but we were leaving Calgary, so they said come in this morning, and I had an ultrasound done, and I do have moderate ovarian hyperstimulation. So it is worse than mild, which I thought it was just mild, but he said no, it's moderate. There's definitely a lot of fluid buildup. So he said it's a really good thing that we did do, and this is a different doctor that I've never seen. He said it's a good thing that we canceled the fresh transfer, because if we didn't and we had went ahead, then it would get a lot worse. If we had done the transfer yesterday, it probably would have become quite severe, my OHSS. So that made me, as much as I don't want to have it, it's not like really bad at this point. It's just more uncomfortable, and my stomach is like not how it usually is, because I'm sure you've seen my stomach before, and I look like this is probably how pregnant I looked when I was about 22 weeks pregnant with Nate. I think that's about the size my stomach was. So I definitely, it's hard as a rock. That's all the fluid that's refilled up in those follicles. So and then around the free flowing fluid, he said. But I'm not in like a ton of pain. I'm more just uncomfortable. So he said it should go away on its own in, the next couple weeks. Just keep staying hydrated, drink lots of Gatorade, higher sodium diet and that kind of stuff. So I'll just keep doing that. at least it's not severe, but I now am starting to feel better and accept the fact that it was probably the right thing to do to cancel the fresh transfer. And overall, I think I'm just absolutely ecstatic that we have 13 embryos to test, because I know a high number, I feel like a high number are going to be affected, and this just really gives us a better chance than if we only had, you know, 4 to test, which was my fear at the beginning of this, was not having a good response or not having a lot make it to the blastocyst stage, because you know, a lot of the time you do lose a lot. So I think that's about it for my update today. I'll maybe update again in one more time, you know, in a few days, and just let you know how my OHSS is doing, if it's getting better. But other than that, I'm not really going to have a lot to update as far as any more results, because we won't be hearing anything from the clinic until they call us with the actual PGD results, which I am pretty much terrified for. So I hope that it would be really good if they're like before 2 weeks, because I won't start getting super anxious until that kind of 2-week mark comes, and then I'm going to start getting really anxious. So if they get it done a little early, then maybe I won't have so much of a chance to get like crazy anxious waiting for that call. But I'm kind of already stressing out about my phone ringing for that phone call, because it's kind of where it's all led to, is that final number of how many healthy embryos that we get and we'll be able to try to implant. So all right, I'll just show you one last time my beautiful view of Radium Hot Springs in British Columbia, Canada. For anybody who is wondering where the heck that is, if you're not Canadian, then that's where it is. I'm in BC. So I will talk to y'all soon, and thanks so much for following. I'll update when I have more info, or to give you an update on the OHSS, but thank you so much for being there, and for being so excited for everything to come and all the support. And I'm sure you're all going to be just as happy about our 13 little M babies that we have frozen. We'll call them our little snow babies. They're frozen and waiting for us, so let's hope to get a good number. Bye guys.